One connector that could be used for charging, data transfer, and video output was supposed to be the universal standard, and that port was supposed to be USB-C. On the other hand, in actuality, it has been more of a headache for everyone. Although ports appear to be the same, their behavior varies from device to device. On occasion, they will charge. On occasion, they will communicate files. On occasion, they do nothing at all. On the other hand, it appears that Microsoft may at long last be directing its efforts to resolve the issue. We will investigate how this works, as well as what it means for the future of your gadgets. There is a fundamental problem with the fact that not all USB-C ports are made equal. From the outside, every USB-C port appears to be the same. On the other hand, their capabilities behind the scenes are extremely diverse. On the same device, there is a possibility that one port supports rapid charging, while another port does not. While some ports are capable of transferring data at high speeds, others are only capable of doing so at USB 2.0 speeds. The DisplayPort Alt mode is supported by some, while others do not support visual output. It is like playing port roulette for the common user since you never know which feature will work with which cable. It is impossible to predict. A significant portion of this variability can be attributed to a lack of enforcement. However, manufacturers are free to adopt USB-C in whatever way they see fit. There is no overarching rule that stipulates that every port is required to perform all tasks. This has resulted in consumers experiencing bewilderment, aggravation, and a significant amount of time and money spent as they attempt to determine the reason why their pricey accessories are not functioning properly. An example of Microsoft's solution is the implementation of USB-C standards. Microsoft is taking action to bring order to the chaos, and the first move in this direction is the release of Windows 11 version 24H2. They are in the process of revising their Windows Hardware Compatibility Program, WHCP, in order to mandate more stringent USB-C compatibility for authorized devices. To put that into practice, here is what it means. Certified USB controllers. Devices are required to use silicon that has been certified by the USB-IF, which indicates that their internal USB controllers are compliant with specific industry interoperability standards. This guarantees that there will be fewer driver difficulties and improved device compatibility. All certified USB-C ports are required to provide the appropriate power delivery protocols to comply with the mandatory USB power delivery USB PD standard. This results in a more consistent charging experience across all chargers, cables, and devices. There is no longer any need to speculate about whether or not a laptop can be charged using a USB-C power bank. DisplayPort Alt mode support. Microsoft will require video output capabilities from a device if it supports USB-C and the hardware is capable of supporting it. As a result, the necessity for proprietary ports or adapters is reduced, which contributes to the standardization of USB-C docks and hubs. High-speed requirements. Microsoft now mandates compliance with USB 4 or Thunderbolt 3 standards for ports that promise high speeds, such as 40 gigabits per second. Testing of the hardware lab. Kit HLK under stringent conditions. OEMs are required to submit their products to Microsoft's Hardware Language Kit HLK testing before they can be certified as Windows compatible. Validating the behavior of the hardware and ensuring that everything from port operation to driver stability is in accordance with Microsoft's updated baseline are the goals of these tests. Microsoft is no longer simply relying on original equipment manufacturers' OEMs to do it right. Rather, they are compelled to do so. The reasons why this is important, it is not just ports. The modification is not merely a technological one. It has real-world, life-changing effects. It should operate as you anticipate when you plug into a USB-C port, whether it be to charge your device, extend your display, or transfer data swiftly. This eliminates any confusion that may have been caused by the port. It is anticipated that Microsoft's enforcement will result in these capabilities being more consistent and reliable. Standardization at last. After years of USB-C chaos, this could be the catalyst that drives the industry toward genuine universality. In the event that every authorized Windows laptop adheres to the same set of guidelines, accessories will function more effectively across all made and models. The user experience will be improved because you won't have to search the internet to find out whether a port supports DisplayPort, or speculate about whether or not your charger will actually charge your laptop. It is as simple as plugging it in, and it will function the way that USB-C was actually intended to function. Microsoft is setting an example for excellence. It's not just Microsoft that's establishing the guidelines. They're also implementing them in their own products. Surface Pro 12 inches and Surface Laptop 13 inches are two examples of their most recent hardware, both of which have officially abandoned the Surface Connect magnetic charger that was previously exclusive to the company. Both of these gadgets are now absolutely dependent on USB-C for both charging and communication. Then, is Microsoft attempting to fix USB? Yes, but it's a complicated situation. USB implementers. Forum USB-IF is the organization that is in charge of the USB standard. Microsoft does not have any authority over it. However, Microsoft does have control over the desktop operating system that is the most widely used in the world. On top of that, influence is a consequence. By making compliance with USB-C a prerequisite for Windows certification, Microsoft is inadvertently compelling original equipment manufacturers to step up their game. This kind of enforcement from the top down could be the pressure that manufacturers need to overcome in order to cease eliminating shortcuts. Consequently, it raises the bar, making it more difficult to ship bad USB implementations and even more difficult to sell them. However, success is still dependent on 1. Microsoft must maintain a firm stance with original equipment manufacturers, OEMs, throughout the certification process. With no exceptions and no shortcuts, there must be some significance to the criteria. 2. OEM compliance. Manufacturers are required to make a complete commitment. Therefore, it is necessary to make investments in high-quality components, appropriate firmware, and port designs that are consistent across all models. 3. Consumer awareness. Microsoft ought to explain these changes in a clear and concise manner so that customers are aware of what to anticipate and what to look for in new devices. Spec sheets, port markings, and labels all need to accurately depict the functionality of the product. If these three aspects coincide, USB-C may at long last become the seamless, all-encompassing connector that it was always intended to be. Conclusions and reflections. USB-C has had a bumpy beginning with implementations that are unclear and specifications that are not strictly adhered to. Nevertheless, Microsoft is stepping in, and it is not doing so by reimagining USB. Rather, it is enforcing the promises it made. Shortly, Windows-based personal computers may be able to provide a USB experience that is more reliable and predictable, provided they